Everyone, welcome. Miss Cavarina Moyano here, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a one color stencil. When we talk about one color stencil, what we're really referring to is one layer of cut stencil. So whether you use 2, 3, 5 colors to spray is irrelevant. One color stencil means one layer. So that is what I'm going to show you how to do today, and I'm going to show you how to use Pixlr to do that. Now you can modify this and use Photoshop or other programs to create your one layer stencil, but I'm using Pixlr because it's free and available to anybody. So here's a one color stencil. In this stencil, the part that is spray painted is the black area. So you can see that all this black area is what's spray painted. The part of the stencil that is left intact is the white area. And I'm going to show you how to create an image and turn it into a black and white design so that you're going to cut out the black area and leave the white area intact by stencilizing. Stencilizing means to create channels that keep everything intact and keeps your stencil from falling apart. It's Frida stencil that all of the white is connected. If you look at the face, it is connected through this channel here and connected to the outside source. If we look up here at this white highlight, you can see also that there is a channel right here where it is connected. And then again up here in her hair where these flowers in her hairdressing would be is all connected, and again is connected to the face. So if we look at any area of white in here, we'll see that it is connected. In her eye, it's connected. Through the lips, it's all connected. And that is absolutely crucial to having a successful stencil. Okay, so I've opened my Pixlr program and I put in a picture of Frida Kahlo. Remember that for this stencil project, not all pictures work. You need to have a really high resolution picture, and you need that really high contrast also. So if it's not working, if your picture doesn't work for this, just find a different picture. They don't all work. So after I put my picture into Pixlr, I'm going to unlock my image so that I can work on it. The next thing I'm going to do is try to get rid of all of this background as much as possible. The first thing I'm going to do to get rid of the background is crop as close as I can. Now I'm using Frida Kahlo as my subject because I always do, and I'm always consistent in that area, but you can use, obviously you're going to use your own subject matter for this project. So I'm going to crop down as close as possible and then apply, and I still want to get rid of all of this background here. So next thing I'm going to do is go to my eraser tool and begin erasing. Now I want to scroll in very tight to get as close around Frida as possible without actually erasing any of Frida's skin or anything like that. I want to make sure that I get in as close as possible, and I can make my eraser bigger as I need to, or make it smaller by going up here to the brush tools and changing the size or changing the edges or shape or whatever. And I'm just going to continue to go all around and erase all of the background. You want to make sure that you get the background erased. I'm going to use a really small one for this. I want to go inside here and get all of this background erased between her neck and her earrings and all of that details. Now you know that the checkered background means that this is transparent. When you print it, it'll be white, obviously, because you're printing on white paper. But I like to make sure that it's totally transparent. Right? I'm just going to finish up that background. Now that the background is totally gone, I mean, there's a little teeny areas here which I can clean up later. I just want to be really careful not to delete any of Frida. The next thing I'm going to do is go down to adjustments, and then I'm going to desaturate. So I want to work in black and white. Right now, this is still grayscale. It is not technically black and white. I'm going to play with the contrast by increasing the contrast as much as possible. I still see some gray in here, so I'm going to kind of play with the contrast a little bit. I'm going to apply that. And then what I'm going to do is go to a threshold and put a threshold on this. And now you can see that it's pure black and white. I can change the level of the threshold like this, and I think that I like it a little brighter because it shows some light in her the shadow of her neck, and a little less shadow under her nose, so she doesn't look like a mustache. However, some of her eyebrows or eyebrow has gone away in the middle, which is a really important feature of Frida. So I'm going to go back in and paint in that unibrow and kind of keep playing with this threshold. I can go back and cancel this, go back up here, and continue to change the brightness and contrast. I'm going to put the anytime you do something that you want to undo, you can go to edit, undo, or delete it in your history. Put the threshold back on there, and I think this is good. I think I like this. I can keep continuing to edit and play with it and maybe create some more light down here in her neck area, things like that. I can increase shadows. If you needed to, I'm gonna cancel this. If you needed to lighten up one thing and darken up another thing, another idea is that you can lasso a section like this and only adjust that one section. So I'm gonna decrease the brightness so that I can create a stronger shadow in her nose area. Now, when I gonna deselect all. Now, when I go to put on the threshold, it's going to be a lot stronger shadow around her nose. See there? Because I decreased the brightness. I can do the same thing for her lips or anything. I actually don't care for that, so I'm going to go edit, undo, edit, undo, undo. So we're back to where we were. But if I wanted her lips to be darker or anything like that, I can lasso anything and just adjust that one area. This is often necessary when you're creating a stencil. For example, Frida Kahlo, her eyebrows are really, really, really important that she have this. Actually, I might change this right here. This is really important because without that unibrow, it sort of takes away the Frida identity. So I want to make sure that the integrity of Frida's image is intact. And this is important if your subject matter has a scar or you know, any sort of marks that are unique to that individual, it's really important to keep those attributes in place because that's part of their physical characteristics. Okay, so I'm going to go to select, deselect, and you always have to make sure things are deselected before moving on because otherwise you're going to be stuck in place. All right, now I'm going to put the threshold on and we'll see now her eyebrow stayed intact. There we go. And this looks fantastic. I am ready to begin stencilizing. So I'm going to apply this. Now, stencilizing means that I need to attach all of this, anything white has to be attached to this background here. This is going to be our poster board right here, and everything black gets cut out. So I want you to imagine if you are cutting out all of this black, what would happen to her neck here? Now, if you're saying, well, her neck would fall off, that would be correct. How about her face? If I cut out all this black, what would happen to the face? Yeah, it would be detached from this area, wouldn't it? So what we're going to do is create some channels that keep this white area and this area attached. This area and this area attached. So anything white has to stay attached to the background. Okay? So I'm going to scroll in. It looks a little pixelated now, but I am going to begin to create some channels using my paintbrush here. And again, adjust your brush to the size that you need. And the goal is to make your channels inconspicuous. So you want to be able to create those channels with as little visual recognition as possible. So you want to probably shrink your brush down, but not too small because you also need to make sure that you have a strong connection, right? So I'm going to go through and connect all of my white areas. So right here where her lips are, I'm going to clean that out, and now her lips will not fall off when I cut them out. Again, right here, this white area that is surrounded by black, I'm going to create some channels. Again, right here where her face is, right here where her ear is at, I could actually put an inconspicuous channel in there. And I'm just going to go through this whole entire composition and create these channels connecting the white to the background like this. Now this looks kind of janky right here, but you won't be able to see this because this is technically white as well. And if you wanted to fill it in with white, you could also do that. Just so that you, I'm going to probably delete some of the things that are a little bit like this. I don't want to cut all of that out. So anything that looks like unnecessary work, I'm going to cut those things out. And just kind of going through, making sure everything that is white is all connected to the background. Once she is done, I am ready to print, and that is the second step in the process of stencilizing. So our stencil design is now created and done and ready to print. Let the fun begin.